So I think I figured out my fuel problems, my fuel leak problems. I'm just gonna go under here and show you what I've done so far. So this line right here, focus. Yeah, right there. You see where that hose clamp is on there? I put that hose clamp on there, and that silver line is new all the way down to the front, past the filter. There's the filter over there. You can see, like, the line goes all the way to in front of it. And then the other leak was right here. This little hose right here, that was a bad section of metal in that fuel line. That's the feed line, and it was leaking. It had a little pinhole leak in it. And then the other one is the return line, and it just looked rotten. I could show you actually. I think I have it over here. So yeah, it's like in two pieces. This was the front piece, and it was all looked like that bad. So I decided to cut it all the way out to the line in front of it, which didn't look quite as bad. This is the rear part of that line. It just looked bad all the way back. And right here where this is like a rubber part right here that I cut off, but like it was leaking right where the rubber goes into the metal part here. It was just all leaking down there. That was the first leak, and when I cut this out, the main line started to leak, and you know, I had to cut it out and fix it. But I had enough line, like I had enough hose, and I had some of this. This is, I think it's 3/8 or 5/16 inch aluminum. It's good for fuel. Anyway, I had some of that already from doing the transmission cooler lines, and I've already tested this a little bit. When you turn, I hope if I had a key. When you turn the key on originally, or initially, it starts the fuel pump, and you can hear it, fills the system with pressure. You see on the gauge, it has pressure, and then it bleeds off a bit because it all kind of returns. But I've already looked and just turning the key on and off a couple times. It hasn't leaked anywhere where I've attached it. It's not leaking anymore. So the only other test that I can do is just to fire it up and run, because the pressure in the lines is only there for like a second or so. It's not there for, you know, any good amount of time. So to run it for, let me make it so that the pump comes back on. To run it for like a minute or so, as long as it's not leaking after a minute or so, I'll be happy and kind of convinced that problem is solved. So I usually let the pump come on and then give it some juice and kick it off idle there real quick. Super fast idle anyway, till it reaches about there. Let's see how we're doing. Problems I've been having with this truck after I got it, you know, running and everything, is that it doesn't shift. Like, I have to put it manually into first, and then into second, and then into drive, and then into overdrive if I get that fast. But like, it just doesn't shift. And I knew it would be a problem because the transmission is computer controlled. I found out that if I take this little purple white wire right there and run that That's the wire that runs off of the original distributor that tells the computer what the engine speed is. And if I run that over to my tack, which I already have a tack lead coming out, it's this little connection right here coming out and going into the tack lead, going into the tack side. If I run that wire there, then the computer knows how fast my engine is spinning, and I think that'll get the transmission to work. It's worth a shot. I'm gonna give it a try and see how it works. What a freaking hack. It's jammed in there. And it's connected up over there. Well, let's see if it starts and gives me tack and runs and stuff. I don't know. It works. I think it works. Yep, definitely works. Well, I got the new wire all wired. Well, the tack lead all wired in where it should be, and everything's back together. I tucked the wire into the loom so that it's kind of normal, I guess. Cut it off from its little connector there and just fed it through there, the blue stuff. I also resealed the thermostat housing. That was it was leaking. I took it apart, and what happened was I forgot to seal. Like there's kind of like not a gasket, but like kind of a gasket in between the housing and the intake manifold. And I sealed the bottom of it with RTV. I forgot to seal the top of it because I thought it would seal by itself. It's got like a little rubber ring inside of it, but evidently it's not enough to seal it from leaking. So I've got that sealed back up. Hopefully we won't be leaking coolant from there anymore. I know it's not the hose. That hose is all brand spanking new. So yeah, just whittling away at the issues. Those two were kind of like recent issues, but reseal the thermostat and the tranny tack signal. I'm gonna wait to test those. I gotta wait for the sealant on that thermostat housing to cure up before I start running coolant through it. So tomorrow I'll be able to test it. So Colleen and I are out in the truck. We've got a couple things fixed that we want to test. Hi, Colleen. And she's gonna videotape. I should probably turn the flash off. Anyway, going for around the block.
Here we go.
It's still not shifting quite right, I think, but yeah, it's not shifting quite right, but it's shifting. Oh, the brakes are definitely better.
That's good.
Yeah.
Like you can feel the difference?
Yes, I can absolutely feel the difference on that. That's cool.
I helped bleed the brakes, better. By the way.
Yeah, that turned out all right. It's definitely shifting though.
Like better than before?
Yeah. It wasn't shifting at all before. Now it's shifting, so that's good.
Yeah.
Happy with that. Oh man, and the brakes are so much better.
Like it'll actually stop?
Yeah.
Without you having to.
And I checked the thermostat housing before we left, and that wasn't leaking, so I think it should be okay. I think at least the problems that I tried to fix are fixed. It's got a little hum to the tires.
Oh, there is.
You hear that?
I hear it. I hear it. It's like,
yeah.
It's
like 40 miles an hour. They start to hum a little bit. Cool.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to do a quick run around the block because, especially for the shifting thing, the wiring was really a hassle to get worked the way that I wanted it to get worked. You know, get it all hidden in the loom and everything.
Yeah. Do you still need to like rewire it again to make it better?
Oh yeah, she's shifting like a champ now.
Oh, good.
when you don't get on it. When you get on it, it still kind of messes up, but it had that problem when we bought it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's at least back to the way it was with the shifting bit. It's not clanking or anything anymore.
Yeah.
I replaced the torque converter, but at least it's shifting the way that it was before. So I'm hoping to get a new transmission out of a Silver or a Suburban, I guess. It's a better transmission. I don't know when I'll get it, but
Like an automatic or a manual?
yeah, it's still an automatic, but it's a better version of this transmission.
Good.
Basically. Let's see what we can do from the stop sign.
Shit.
It screeches a little bit,
Yeah, it does.
but it shifts. It does a short shift or something like that. Like it shifts at weird points. But wow, it handles really good.
And the brakes are definitely
The
stable.
brakes are awesome. They're perfect. That was exactly what it needed. It just needed to be
Bled.
bled a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Kudos to me for helping.
Yes. You know what's weird though is the brake light is actually still on right now. I wonder if it's a switch issue or not.
Nice.
See, like that, like when I have it on too much throttle, it goes out of gear. It goes out of gear before instead of going like into the next gear. So, yeah, it's quirky, but at least it goes forward. So
A to B, man.
I'm not too unhappy about it. Yeah. I won't be able to like do towing stuff with it though until I get like a proper transmission in here.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's something that I'll just have to figure out. But if I just do light throttle, there's first, then second, then third, there's the overdrive right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just back from our test drive.
Yeah.
And I think we can cross some stuff off. Where's my pen? Where is my pen? Here, get this.
I will.
Bleed brakes. Of course, we got that.
Yes.
Boom.
Thanks to me. Just
Reseal thermostat. It's not leaking anymore. No more coolant leaks on the engine. So good. And a trainee tack signal. That's hooked in. It's shifting the way it was shifting before. I'm happy about it. It still doesn't shift very great. There's some other issues going on with that transmission, but it's good to go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is what the ad looks like on Craigslist, right? 92 K1500 4x4 5-speed Chevy truck parts. Truck is being sold for parts. Bed is sold. So the bed is gone. The trans is sold, but evidently that is not exactly true. Bell housing and pedals available. I have another 4x4 NV 4500 trans available, but needs a rebuild. Whatever miles, 350 TBI, blah, blah, blah. Farm truck. Body has typical blah. Frame is very clean. Rears are 373s. 4x4 works. Would prefer to sell whole, but will part out for right price. Interested in some trades. Myers snow plow parts, Cummins stuff, anything with a motor. Okay, so that's where that's what it looks like on Craigslist right there. That's what it looks like. I saw this, man, and I could not believe it. I could not believe my eyes. I'm like, what? Guy wants to sell a parts truck, a 5-speed that I want, and He wants Myers snowplow parts. Let's load that shit up in the truck and get it down. And just get it over there so we could trade it off. That's where I'm at right now. Forgot to mention one thing I fixed on this. Part came in last week for it. I have hazards. See the blinking. They weren't working before. I had to replace the turn signal switch is also the hazard switch. It's one of those little push button and pull style kind of old school Chevy flasher units. That's fixed. That's not what I'm doing now. What I'm doing now is changing the oil, because when I'm about to do a road trip, right? So you hear it leaking out. I'm about to do a road trip, so I want to make sure that I get some good oil in the motor. I checked the drain plug. Well, these things have a little magnet on the top of them. Let's see if I can get a good shot of that. Yeah, so you see like there's tiny little shavings. That's perfectly normal when you do a fresh build. Some of the pistons, it's got all new piston rings, new you know, a new hone on the cylinders. It's got new bearings, and you know, any bigger chunks I'd be worried, but slight shavings, it's kind of expected to be on there. So I'll clean that off and put some new oil in it. I'm happy that there's no damage or anything like that. I didn't think there was any damage, but yeah, I'm gonna change the oil because I got to do it's gonna have its first real kind of long road trip coming on in a couple days. See if I can get a better shot of this in the pan. Right there. Yeah. Very fine, like a powder almost. But it's just tiny little specks. That's what you want to see on a fresh rebuild. It means shit is seating in. That's good. This is how we've decided to get the plow into the truck. James is pumping it up. Pump it up. Pump it.
It's about all the way up.
Bart's over here helping out. No, he can go further.
Yeah, but that's as high
Oh,
as it needs to go.
oh! We're hitting the bar there. We're not going to be able to spin
This
it.
is as high as it needs to go.
Okay, let's see if we can get it. She's all loaded up. We got the plow in there. We got the light bar slash bumper bar slash hooky thing in there. Right over there is the frame thing. It's over here. In there. Meyer plow, and then the wiring harness is over there. I don't think that's going to fly out. But look at just the spaciousness in this beautiful 8-foot bed. Just glorious.
For a go-kart and a quad.
We're doing a truck thing, James.
Finally.
So disappointing. Got the truck all unloaded. I've got the plow out there where I had it before. I got all the other stuff in here, all posed up to get on Craigslist because the parts truck just fell through. We couldn't get a hold of the guy, or I don't know, the guy just couldn't get it lined up. And anyway, I'm gonna sell this on Craigslist. So I've got it all splayed out here in the garage. Never saw anything on Craigslist before. Hopefully it goes okay. More tire room footage with James. He's replacing my valve stem that broke.
You ever seen what one of these looks like?
That's what they look like. Yeah, $40 valve stem is right in there. I was filling my tires up because I got the warning on my dash, and after I filled it up, I put the cap back on, and as soon as I did, the valve stem just broke apart.
It did.
It just flew off, and all the air went out of it.
But we got new valve caps, and they're pretty cool.
Yes, yeah.
We have a theme now.
Nice. Ooh, there's one. Yeah! So after some minor repairs on the Silver Turd, I got Betsy back in the garage. The rear's up in the air right now because I am taking off the tailgate, or not the tailgate, the bed. I'm taking the bed off so I can get to that frame. Finally, to get into the frame, it's the last bit that I need to kind of fix up before I can get it inspected. And of course, it's not coming off too nicely. There's 4 bolts along each side, right? So there's like 2 in the back here, 2 in the front there, and then same on the other side, 2 and 2. And I got all 4 of these in the back off. I got the 2 up there off, and then I gotta get those 2 more up there off, and then I'm gonna hoist it out with that thing. And I should definitely get some video of that because that should be interesting. But these bolts, man, like most of them are easy to get to, but there's one that's just a pain in the ass. It's the one right there, and you have to take the wheel off, and you have to take this like frame off of the body here, just so you can get that nut out. And I was turning it and turning it and turning it, you know, like super hard. I was getting 1 click at a time on my ratchet, and I figured I'm like, I've got it down like quite a ways, and then snap, the damn thing breaks on me. It just breaks my heart. I hate when that happens, but you know, if it's gonna happen like that, I want it to break right away, you know, not, you know, after I've been working on it, turning it for a long time. Anyway, I'm gonna get to this side here. I've already disconnected the wiring harness from the tail lights and the gas, the filler neck. I've got that like disengaged and kind of scooched back in there. It's free so that it won't get caught up on anything. And yeah, I should be able to get to the frame and do some frame stuff, as long as this thing can lift it off of the frame. I've never had to consider actually lifting anything so massive with the hoist. So I've never ever had it out to its full length. Oh man, I gotta get back to get this in frame, but that thing is freaking huge when you've got the arms out, like as far as they really can go. It's massive. It's 5.5 feet from like this point over to like the cylinder here. So I should be able to easily get in between the, you know, into the middle of a 8-foot bed. But I did a couple things, like I marked the ends of these like 6 inches in from, you know, from the back of the legs here. You can see I put a little tape with some marks on, so they'll be 2 inches past the bolt there. And then 4 inches in on the top post here, because this is the top bolt's only 2 inches in. So just to give me a little bit of margin of safety on the legs. But yeah, fully extended out, I should definitely be able to get that thing up with this lift. Well, this is where shit can go terribly wrong. I've got it on the hoist, and she's floating a little bit. Just a little bit. And so I figured I should get some footage, because where I could go epically correct, legendarily lift this bed off, or just an epic fail. One or the other. Oh, she's lifting. She's leaning. She's listening. Let me make sure the gas tank is clear. Yeah, it's kind of clear. So far, so good. The back is coming up pretty good. The front, not so much. Oh. I spoke too soon. It's coming straight up. sure without killing that. This is not blocked, yes, locked up on that. Gotta get that free. But then the rest should be clear. That wire is disconnected. Oh, there's a wire. There's a wire. There's a wire I gotta disconnect. It's like a grounding wire. Right under here. Of course, it's gonna be like a 13. Yeah. Pretty sure the other grounding strap that was on it is not, or it's broken. There's a grounding strap up front that needed to be, I guess, removed, but it had already snapped, which is fantastic. Par for the course on this thing. There we go. Okay. She's freed up. Let me just make sure I don't see any other lines or anything. I'm gonna pull. Oh yeah. Looking good. Looking good. Oh yeah. Oh, she's up there. She's getting way up there. Whoo. I'm hearing some noises. What is that noise? Oh man. Pull back some, back away from the cab a little bit. It's not exactly straight coming up, but I should be fine. I say that as it turns crazily over to the side, but oh man. Oh man. She's up. Oh shit. Oh my God. Let's get some close-up footage on this, shall we? Look at this. I can finally see the frame. There's the gas tank back there. You can see how rusty this stuff is. Oh my God. Look at that lift. Oh man. It's almost covering up the whole cab there. But I have plenty of room. I should be able to pull this back a little bit and drive the truck out. Let's see. It's a nice day out here. Letting it warm up so I can pull it out. Oh God, that's beautiful. Before I move it in, since it's such a beautiful day, oh my god, look at just such a beautiful day. Might as well show you the damage in the sunlight. Might be a little bit easier to see. Look at that hiding underneath, lurking underneath the bed. All of these are just like giant rust flakes, you know. But oh, Colleen's home. Anyway, that's why I kind of needed to take the bed off. You could also see a little bit better back here. The damage that I was trying to kind of like already correct from underneath. You could see all of this stuff is really thin. This is a cross member for the, well, to brace the rear part of the frame. Some of it's pretty thin in a couple spots right there. But so that needs to be fixed. And that's probably the one thing that I'm most concerned about. Other than that, there are some spots on these front bed mounts that need to be dealt with. That's a lot easier to see with the freaking bed off. Yo!
I saw it and I ran.
This side's a little worse. It's not just the bed mount on this side. There's actual hole in the frame section too. It's the way that they made these bed mounts welded up to the side here and right underneath where it drips from the bed. I don't know, from the bed. Anyway, there's obviously some issues. Most of it is fine. Just a couple little spots here and there I gotta fix up. Should be good to go. Get it back in the garage and I can get my needle descaler back out. That'll be nice. Anyway, yeah, the bed's off to the side.
Cool.
And keep working on it.